Okay. I'd like to call the town board meeting of September 26, 2023 to order. Please rise and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silence to remember those who served our country in the past and for those who continue to protect our country today. Thank you. Please note the emergency exits are the door you came in and the doors at the end of the hall and behind us. At this time, I make a motion to open the public hearing on the CDBG grant application for 2024 at
7:06 p.m.
Okay. I'll second. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
So let me tell you a little bit about the grant. Let's see where it is. Okay, so the public hearing is we've received notification that Dutchess County is accepting municipal applications for the 2024 Community Development Block Grant. And we're holding the public hearing to address that issue. I have a couple of items from the application and some information. It's funded by the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development. They anticipate about $1 million, and we would be eligible for the most would be $125,000. We're looking for improvements to existing facilities, municipal parks, and recreation areas, particularly handicapped accessible improvements. New recreation facilities will be considered based on demonstrated needs. I'm going to ask the rec director, Danny Plastini, to come up. We've had some discussion on what we talked about our parks needing, and Danny's going to make a brief presentation.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Mary and I and Sharon discussed numerous times about different things going on in the park and to revitalize some of the playgrounds that we currently have. And I think this ADA grant would be perfect for our park up at Town Center Park. We have a small park there right now that is for toddlers. And it's an unutilized area, and that we can put a larger park with the ramps that would be required for the ADA accessible. So that's the current park we have. It's pretty small area. It's a pretty small playground, but the area itself is large. It's about 40 by 50 feet. That is the option for the playground that we're looking to get, which is ADA accessible. It needs a larger area than the current, a larger footprint than what we have. So the next picture is just another picture of the playground. And then another picture of the playground.
Oh, sorry, I'm looking.
That's okay.
It gives us some different angles of the different
angles
things.
Of the different apparatuses that are on the playground. They're accessible from the ground, and also once they go up the ramp, they can leave their wheelchair if they're in a wheelchair and go down the slide. And obviously someone would need to help them back into their wheelchair. And there's a couple of ramps on the other side that we just saw. The cost of the playground is about $77,000. Installation is an additional $17,000. And we would have to put a safety surfacing on the bottom, which is $20,000, which were roughly about $114,500. I don't have the exact numbers for the installation and the surfacing because we have to get 2024 rates and they're not available just yet. We are also looking into repurposing some of the parts that are on the current playground. The current playground was put into play in 2003. So it's a little old, but some of the parts may be able to be used in add to the other playgrounds that are in our different parks. And that's the presentation on that.
No, I appreciate that, Danny. I think the playground at the recreation facility has a handicapped playground, an ADA accessible playground. And TCP is one of our biggest parks, draws the most people between sports, games and whatnot. And I think this would be a perfect marriage for being able to have children be able to play on accessible equipment. It still will, because that particular park has the toddler and the older
And another, yeah,
the
the
older
other
playground.
right.
But this, we took into account that it would also be accessible for toddlers. I've seen with my grandgirls in Connecticut just an absolutely beautiful park where it's much larger footprint than that, probably 3 times the size, frankly. But it was just perfect for every age group and every ability level. And it was just a delight to bring my grandgirls and see all kinds of children interacting together. So I think, there's 2 points, because it's an aging playground and they only have a certain amount of life. And that it would enable children of all abilities to be able to participate together. I think it would be a nice addition for our
And it's easily accessible. Than unfortunately the rec park, you do have to go across the park and down hills.
Right,
This is right outside the parking lot at Town Center Park, where there is already handicap parking, and then you just can walk right into the playground.
Yeah, it's perfect for it. It really lends itself to being able to do that. So we're kind of excited about that possibility.
Yes.
And that's one of our ideas to file for that particular grant.
Yes.
So I appreciate that. Did you want to speak a little bit more?
Yeah, I
about
have a couple
programs?
of little things that are not, before I go tell you about Fall Festival, we are having a vaccine clinic tomorrow from Beekman Pharmacy. We'll be at the community center from 12:30 to 2:30. They are offering the flu, RSV, shingles, pneumonia, and the COVID-19 booster. It's walk-in. You do not have to have an appointment. You just have to have your driver's license and your insurance card with you, and a COVID vaccination card if you have one. And that's, again, free. And then on October 14th, we're having our Fall into Fun Community Day. It's going to be a great day. We have our annual pumpkin patch, crafts and games. We will have a magician who is actually a resident from the town of Beekman, who has come through most of our youth programs. So we're excited. We had him over the summer and he was amazing. So we're bringing him back for Fall Festival. And our music is also a Beekman resident, Ed Mulaney from Dalton Farms. So we're excited to have him. And we are also looking for families and businesses to decorate a scarecrow and decorate our greens in our mini golf. And there will be a contest for the best scarecrow. So we're looking forward to everybody coming to that day.
Great. And I want to congratulate, we had a Go Fly Your Kite Day. Fortunately, not this weekend. It was the weekend before. And it was perfect up at TCP Park. A lot of new families, under 7 came. The little ones really had a good time. It was really a lot of fun watching them trying to fly their kites and getting them. They were more than happy if it was 2-3 feet off the ground.
And just running with the kite flying behind them.
Yeah.
It was a great event.
Yeah, that was a great event. That was really good. And it was particularly exciting to see all the new families with children under 7 who have not participated in our programs before.
Right.
So that
was a great opportunity to get them to come to Fall Festival as well.
Yep. And it was a perfect day for flying a kite. So I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Wait 1 second. We're not finished. It's just
I have a question about the playground.
Oh.
Are you making, not for me, I'm not going to go down and have kids down there with me, but have we made allowances for people who might want to sit down at a bench?
There's currently benches at the playground. Those will stay. Yeah, that's on our original playground that we have now. We actually have 2 picnic tables and 4 benches that'll stay in the area.
And generally speaking, if you've got a toddler, you're not sitting on the bench.
Sure that.
So, I know that from experience.
If they want the parents
Right.
a snack or something.
Yes,
Yes.
we do have 2 picnic tables and several benches.
Okay.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you for coming, I appreciate it. So now I'd like to see, let's see, Lorraine, did we get the affidavit of publication for the public hearing?
Yes, we did.
Great. Did we get any written comments?
We did not.
Okay. Do we have any public comments? Please join us.
Bill Crane, 254 Gardner Hollow Road. This is a great idea to have this park, and I hope you succeed.
So do we.
Yeah, and you do too. I'd like to make a pitch for making it more of a nature park. Currently parks are pretty much outdoor gymnasiums. And if we could have some trees and some shrubbery, and kids like to do things like play in the loose dirt underneath trees, and they like to hang out. There's a role for not just going up and down slides, but more passive recreation where kids will sit under bushes or under canopies and tell stories and use their imaginations. And if you have more vegetation, it's much more interesting to children especially those who can't be as active, but can do things like make things and play with things under the bushes and stuff. And it has nature has a calming effect. So the park, by an example of this is in the 70s, a man named Robin Moore in Berkeley, California, took an asphalt playground and turned it all into a nature center, a nature park. And the kids, the fighting all went down. Where there's a lot of fighting, ordinarily they all went down. The kids played together. They were very excited about gathering things and looking at things, and it makes it much more interesting. So if you could, I would encourage vegetation as much as possible, and think about places where kids can relax and where they can hide and where they can play under canopies, and put more trees. 'Cause right now, in the hot weather too, the places outdoors. Right now, it looks hot.
Mm-hmm.
I can see a lot of heat. So the trees would be a soothing place
Right.
for
Well,
everybody.
part of the problem is we do sports up there, so it's primarily fields. So
Yeah.
there's a limited place where we could do that, but I think that's a valid suggestion. We'll look and see what we could do.
Yeah.
I fondly remember my days at Van Cortlandt Park digging in the dirt. I actually can still remember a little hole that we used to dig. It wasn't by the playground, so we spent a lot of time there. I will tell you that my memory, as it serves me, it didn't eliminate a lot of fighting, but perhaps that was just my neighborhood.
You came from the Bronx, where
Yeah, exactly. So it could have been that, but I do fondly remember I was blessed to
Yeah,
have
yeah.
Van Cortlandt Park as my backyard.
it's a beautiful park.
It had a lake, it had everything you
Beautiful
could
park.
possibly
It
want.
goes up in the hills, and it has
Yep.
fields and hills.
And the flats, it had a running track. My mother used to run track
Yeah.
every day up there. Before it was become popular, she used
I
to do
ran
that.
cross country. They had the big
The
meets.
cross country, they had the big meets up there,
yeah.
yeah, it's a beautiful park. So I see where you're going,
Yeah,
and
I'm
we'll
glad
certainly
you-
give
yeah.
it, I
Some of us
appreciate
can
it.
recall our own childhood.
Yes,
And what fascinated us, and
Yep.
like you're digging in the hole.
yes.
Digging-
So I will keep
Okay.
that into consideration. Thank you, Bill.
Sure.
Any other public comments? Okay. Anything? Okay. Then I would like to, let's see, we talked about the post, the public comments, written, Danny. Okay. Then I'd like to make a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the public hearing considering the CDBG grant was closed at,
7:20 PM.
okay, great. Now, I will do a rundown of what we got here. Let's see. So, resolution number 2, we've done it every year for the last 5 years. It's in anticipation of a catastrophic event that would be problematic for our budget. It would have to be major, unexpected event with dramatic ramifications for the town. For the last 5 years, we take this step. We've never utilized it. It's just to be cautious and prudent in the event. If something would happen over the next few weeks prior to us passing the budget, but every other year it's been moot, and I certainly, it's not just to make the budget balance. It's got to be a major disaster. We talked about resolution number 4, which is the grant, applying for grant. Resolution number 3 is our budget adjustments. And then we have put on, and Werner will read it, resolution number 6 that came in from the attorney late today. It'll go under general board, but it's a permit agreement with Barton Orchards. When they run events, they need to have traffic control. Unfortunately, the Sheriff's Department cannot do an agreement with a private business. It only goes through the municipality. So what happened last year was he gave us a sum of money in escrow. We paid off the Sheriff's Department from that. At the end of the year, December 31st, there was some money left and it was returned to him, and we're doing the same thing this year. And I think that is that. And then, so let's see, is there any, that was the public hearing. Public agenda items? Anyone want to come to talk about an agenda item? No? Okay. Werner?
Whereas Town Clerk Lorene Abatantuato has provided copies of the minutes of the September 12th, 2023 Town Board meeting to all members of the Beekman Town Board, and whereas Town Board members have had the opportunity to review said minutes, now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board hereby accepts the minutes of the September 12th, 2023 Town Board meeting.
I will second that.
Town board discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilman Stiegler?
Abstain, I was out of town.
Councilman Badalini?
Aye.
Councilman Limek?
Aye.
Councilwoman Warman?
Aye.
And Supervisor Cavucci?
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Whereas the financial advisor has determined that it could be necessary for the town of Beekman to exceed the limit on the amount of real property taxes that may be levied by the town of Beekman for fiscal year 2024. And whereas a proposed law has been prepared to override the tax levy limit for fiscal year ending in 2024 pursuant to General Municipal Law 3-C. Now, therefore, be resolved that the town board hereby schedules a public hearing of said local law to be held on October 10th, 2023 at 7:05 p.m. at Town Hall, 4 Main Street, Buckley, New York, and that notice of such time and place of such hearing be posted and published once in the Poughkeepsie Journal, a newspaper circulating in the town of Beekman, on a bulletin board in the town clerk's office, as well as of the town of Beekman website. And be it further resolved that the town board will also accept written public comments until 4 p.m. on October 10th, 2023.
I'll second.
Town board discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilman Stiegler?
Aye.
Councilman Badalini?
Aye.
Councilman Limek?
Aye.
Councilwoman Warman?
Aye.
And Supervisor Cavucci?
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Whereas the town of Beekman's accounting office recommends certain budget revisions based on department requests and/or accounting office review and analysis of expenditures or revenues, now therefore be it resolved that the following itemized revisions are approved by the town of Beekman Town Board identified as budget revision number 2023-09, as follows.
I'll second.
You threw me off, both of you. Town board discussion?
Gotcha.
Yeah. Hearing none, roll call vote.
Councilman Stiegler? Aye. Councilman Badalini?
Aye.
Councilman Limek?
Aye.
Councilwoman Warman?
Aye.
Supervisor Cavucci?
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Whereas the town has received notification that Dutchess County is accepting municipal applications for the 2024 Community Development Block Grant, CDBG, and whereas the town board held a public hearing to receive public comment on ideas for a project of the 2024 CDBG grant application on the 26th of September 2023 at 7:05 p.m. Now therefore be it resolved, the town board will submit an application to gain approval for the grant request.
I'll second it.
Town board discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Councilman Stiegler?
Aye.
Councilman Benalini?
Aye.
Councilman Limak?
Aye.
Councilwoman Mormon?
Aye.
Supervisor Cavucci?
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Whereas the bookkeeper has audited and approved claims pursuant to Section 119 of Town Law set forth in the attached abstract, be it resolved that the payment therefore is hereby authorized as follows. Claims to be paid from the A General Fund, $194,131.42. Claims to be paid from the DA Highway Fund, $78,144.49. Claims to be paid from the SS Dover Ridge Sewer, $5,862.14. Claims to be paid from the SW Dover Ridge Water, $920.13. Claims to be paid from the T Trust Fund, $3,542.30. Claims to be paid from the H Capital Fund, $333, for a total of $282,933.48. 9/14/2023 payroll number 19, General Fund, $41,790.57. Highway Fund, $22,440.01, for a total of $64,230.58.
I'll second.
Town board discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilman Stiegler?
Aye.
Councilman Benalini?
Aye.
Councilman Limak?
Aye.
Councilwoman Mormon?
Aye.
And Supervisor Cavucci?
Aye.
Resolution.
Resolution number 6. Be it resolved that the town board of the town of Beekman, upon presentation of a permit fee pursuant to Chapter 110 of the Town Code in the amount of $3,000, does hereby authorize the supervisor to execute a general permit agreement allowing Barton Orchards, DBA Barton Entertainment Company LLC, to hold events, and does hereby authorize the town board, subject to its standard policies, procedures, and charges, to provide traffic control assistance via the Dutchess County Sheriff's Office, subject to further to Barton Orchards receiving all required building and other permits and owners' consents, agreeing to indemnify, defend, and hold the town and its officials harmless, and provide to the town acceptable proof of workers' compensation insurance and general liability insurance, naming the town of Beekman as an additional insured. And be it further resolved that the general permit shall expire on December 31st, 2023, and be subject to renewal pursuant to the new permit application for 2024. The foregoing was put to a vote, which resulted as follows.
I'll second.
Town board discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Councilman Stiegler?
Aye.
Councilman Benalini?
Aye.
Councilman Limak?
Aye.
Councilwoman Mormon?
Aye.
Supervisor Cavucci?
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Okay, thank you. And then, I'm just trying to see here, just some general board comments. I know everyone's noticed, unfortunately, summer is gone and it's getting darker earlier. And just would like to urge some caution when everyone's driving, although the deer appear to be out 24/7 anymore, but it's just a little harder to see them at dusk, and they certainly are running across the roads. So for people to take a little caution as they're rushing to get home in the evening. Anybody else?
I just like to say, Danny, thank you so much for the camp. The kids had a great time this year. Anthony is like a changed person since he did the whole CIT thing. It's amazing how much he learned and just what he went from literally being a child to almost an adult within the last couple of months. So thank you so much for everything you do over there, and it really definitely helps out with the kids.
Anybody else?
I just have a general board comment.
Perfect.
Okay, so everyone knows the fire company is mourning the death of life member Edwin Vasquez. He was captain of our rescue squad. He was also he used to dress up as Santa Claus for the children during Christmas. And the fire company will be participating in memorial services. Also from the fire department, September 30th, Saturday, from 11 to 1. We will be participating in Touch a Truck Day with the Beekman Library. And also on October 13th, we will be conducting a fire drill and participating at the Beekman Elementary School with fire prevention.
Fire Prevention Week,
Yes.
great,
And that's an all-day thing, right?
Yes.
good. Thank you. I think that was for it. I'm just going to add, we are going into executive session, but we're not going to come out, we're not going to be taking any action, but we are going. Our next board meeting is a special town board meeting Wednesday, October 5th at 5 p.m. It's just going to be a 5-minute meeting. It's kind of a technical thing that we need to do to receive the tentative budget. So it's just a 5-minute meeting, and there will be nothing else, no other business conducted at that meeting. The next regular town board meeting is Tuesday, October 10th at 7 p.m. Okay, I think I've gotten that. And I have public comment. I think, Leonard, you signed up?
Yep. Good evening, my name is Leonard Jerm. I live at 112 Bayer Drive here in Poquay. A couple of things. I think I'm now the official spokesman for public advertisement for Bill Crane and his dinner for the turkeys. I did mention it the last time, and I will mention it again tonight. It's this first Saturday. It's the Saturday before Thanksgiving. It's at his farm between 12 and 2. Don't be late, or you'll miss out on the turkey dinner that's free. He usually has a big crowd. The people find out about it and they want to be a part of it. So if you are interested, you can see him after the meeting, or you can get in touch with the farm at 354 Gardner Hollow Road. Governor Hochul just passed a law that firemen do not have to live in the same town in which they serve.
That was for one particular town. That's not across New York State.
That's not what I read.
No, I read it was one particular town, but I'll look that over. Do you have any more intimate knowledge of that?
Well, I know our district has their own policy.
Yeah, right,
You-
yeah.
You can live in a neighboring town as long as the
Yeah, I think it
boundaries
was
are-
the town of Buchanan. Is that what you read?
No, it didn't mention a town. This was on
No.
Channel 12.
Okay, yeah.
And
Yeah, I think it's the town of Buchanan. I can look that up for you, but I believe it was one.
Was this for paid firemen or
No,
volunteers?
Yeah,
Okay.
I believe it was the town of Buchanan.
The paid firemen were at the Catapult Gathering from LaGrangeville, and they told me that they are paid, and they have four ambulances that service LaGrange. But of course, he said it's going to increase your tax base. So, we have to go with what we can afford, I guess, especially if you're still paying a mortgage and pay the absolutely ridiculous school tax amount. The other thing I have was that you passed a resolution, and I'm not getting on you, supervisor, but I am saying that there was a resolution passed that in order to present an agenda item, it has to be in 3 weeks before.
8 days.
Well, 8 days, okay. I don't know when this came up, but it wasn't printed on the agenda item. You voted on it tonight.
No, we didn't vote on that tonight. We didn't vote on that tonight. You were here. You sat here through the whole agenda. We
He's
didn't
talking about,
vote on that tonight.
I think he's talking about number 6.
Number 6 was Mr. Barton.
Yeah, no, I think, is this what you're talking about, number 6?
Number 6, yeah.
Oh, that came from the attorney late. That's all there is to it. So if the attorney deems something that has to go on immediately, I have to do it.
So there are exceptions to that rule.
If the attorney tells me that he needs that to go on, there are minimum exceptions to that rule.
Okay, and the other thing was, you mentioned about the deer. I saw some buzzards, or looked like buzzards, that were flying around I also think that these lights that they have on the new cars are totally ridiculous. They're so bright. The fire, the state police don't even like them.
Thank you, Leonard.
I guess my 3 minutes is up.
Okay, I make a motion to move into executive session to discuss, for discussions relating to proposed, pending, or current litigation.
I'll second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. These are the stuff there.